Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to part 2 of Learning to Fly. Let's begin. I'm really sorry for all of this, you say quietly, your guilt showing in your voice. She sighs and sits down next to you. It's alright, I don't mind spending time with my best friend. Besides, you know how impossible it is to be mad at you? She said, smiling, leaning against you. You smile and blush again as she rests her waiting on you. You then take notice of how beautiful the huge storm is from the outside. The rolling black clouds are about 20 feet below the cloud you're on, surging brightly every few seconds. You should be afraid, but for some reason, you're the most relaxed that you've ever been. After about an hour, the sky is completely dark, and you two head inside. As you both sit on the couch, you thank it for everything and start to apologize for being late. I'm so sorry for not making it to the park today. You know I wouldn't miss it for the world if I had a choice. Hanging out with you is the highlight of my day. You say, your voice getting quieter as you speak. You're my reason for getting up every morning, and I just want to be able to live if you were. Suddenly, Rainbow Dash just kisses you, and instantly pulls away, blushing incessantly. You've never seen her blush before, and any innocence on her face is added to the radiance in each second that passes. I'm sorry about that. Throwing caution to the wind, you suddenly press her lips against hers. With all the passion you have building up inside you, she gives a little gasp as her eyes goes wide. Before long, she's pressing back with the same intensity. As time passes, she presses harder and harder against you, her breathing getting heavier. Before you know it, she pushes you down all the way, lying down on top of you. You run your hooves down her entire body, begin to kiss lightly down her jawline. With this, she wraps one hoof around you and places the other on the back of your head, pushing you down onto her neck. You feel her deep and heavy breaths against the back of your neck. As you kiss and nip at her neck and upper chest, you then slowly lick all the way down to her chest up to her ear, gripping her body tightly. You feel her shiver as you do so, her wings suddenly at their full span. Reconnecting your lips to hers, you begin to massage the underside of her wings with your hooves. Her tongue suddenly slides between your lips as you begin to explore her mouth as well. She softly moans into your mouth as she moves your hooves closer to the base of her wings, rubbing harder as you go. She breaks the kiss and gasps in ecstasy as you press at the base of her wings. You take this opportunity to work on the other side of her neck, kissing and licking tenderly. You press again on the same spot, eliciting a loud moan from her. You can tell she can't take much more. Her eyes clench tightly shut as you begin to lick just below her ear. You press as hard as you can at the base of her wings. She suddenly screams out in intense pleasure at your accents and collapses on top of you, breathing heavily. Neither one of you says a word. She simply rests on top of you, with your hooves wrapped around her. After about a half an hour, you realize that she's fallen asleep, admiring how beautiful she is asleep. You whisper to her ear, careful not to wake her. I love you, Rainbow Dash. As gingerly as you can, you lift her onto your back, lightly walking around her home. After a quick search, you find her bedroom. You begin to lightly rest on her bed so you can go to sleep on the couch. Just as you're about to let go of her, she grabs onto you, pulling you onto the bed with her. You gasp slightly in surprise as she does this, but instantly melt as she snuggles up against you, her eyes never opening in the process. While your eyes lull into a close, you feel breath against your ear. I love you too. Only a few seconds later, you drift off into the deepest sleep of your life, lost in the ecstasy of those sound of those words. Slowly waking up, you smile at the sight of two big, beautiful eyes staring back at you. Good morning, you hear her whisper, lightly kissing your lips. As much as you wish you can stay right here with her forever, you explain to her that you have work to do. You have missed a majority of your deliveries yesterday, and you can't just miss another day of work. Hugging her tightly and giving her a long, passionate kiss, you tell her that you'll see her back at the park tonight. Walking out to your balloon, you hear something behind you. Hey, Rainbow Dash calls out to you. What is it? And you answer sweetly. Do you think I could, go with you? You suddenly see her to start blush again. At the sight of her red cheeks against her bright blue face is beyond gorgeous. Without a smile, you beckon over her. She quickly runs over and hugs you tightly, bearing a wide smile the whole time. Stepping into the balloon, you start to lift off at the cloud. As you head off to your first delivery, she knows you staring out into the open sky, admiring every inch of it as a light breeze blows against your face. You really do love the sky, don't you? Yeah, I just feel so at home up here, and now wherever I look out in the sky, all I think of it is you. She suddenly wraps her hooves around you from behind, holding into you tightly. You smile again, enjoying her warmth against you. If only you had seen the devious grin on her face. Without warning, she pulls you out of the balloon, sending you two plummeting towards the ground at an alarming speed. Just as you are about to yell in fear, she kisses you passionately and holds you tight. You lose yourself in the sensation of falling so rapidly, mixed with the butterflies constantly multiplying in your stomach from the kiss. Spitting head first down to earth with your lover, everything suddenly seems to stand still. At the rate that your heart is raising into orbit seems to match the speed that you're falling. At this point, work is the last thing on your mind. Suddenly, you feel Rainbow Dash begin to flap her wings ferociously, diminishing what could have been a fatal fall. You crash into the ground, sliding along the grass. Your eyes are still closed. Surprisingly, you're not hurt, aside from a scratch or two. Opening your eyes, you see your beloved mare standing over you. She's just as breathtakingly beautiful as the first time you saw her, so long ago. How's that for flying? She says, breathing heavily. Oh, that was nothing, you said, with a loving smile. Wrapping her hooves around her, she leans down and kisses you with everything she's got. As your heart begins to beat at the supersonic speed, as the butterflies return, you get that rising feeling in your stomach once again. You are finally flying, and that's the end of the story. What a story, Mock!